Hello trig students, it's Dr. John, your physics and math professor, coming to you with another trig identity. This one looks sort of complicated. It's got 1 over 1 minus sine theta on this side, and then a secant squared, which is 1 over cosine squared, tangent and cosine, sort of a mixture there. Hard to know which is the easier side and which is the harder side. We tend to go from the easier side and go to the harder side and go to the easier side, whichever direction that is. In this case, I'm going to look at this and saying, that has sort of like possibly a difference of squares. Here's the 4 different principles we're going to use: difference of squares, Pythagoras, double angle, and trig definitions in the solving of all of these in this section. This looks sort of like a difference of squares. Let's multiply the top and the bottom by 1 minus sine theta so that we can get 1 minus sine squared theta out of it. Let's take this over here. We're just going to use this side for now. So we're going to multiply the top by 1 minus sine theta and the bottom by 1 minus sine theta. Of course, we have to leave what we have here, which is 1 plus sine theta. This is what we had. We're leaving that, and we're multiplying by this and this. Now this in the bottom is going to give us 1 minus sine squared theta. For those of you who are familiar and have done a couple of these, you'll recognize this as being Pythagoras' theorem. The basics Pythagoras is sine squared plus cos squared is equal to 1, or we can move the sine to this side. Cos squared is equal to 1 minus sine squared. 1 minus sine squared, this is equal to cosine squared theta. Now we've got something on the top. We've got 1 minus sine squared and cosine squared in the bottom. I'm going to rewrite this up here. All right, I have rewritten, this is the denominator, cosine squared right here. And this is the numerator in this box up here, 1 minus sine theta. So I've rewritten this from the left-hand side over here. Now let's see what we can do with this. We've got this over cos squared and this over cos squared. Let's break those up into pieces. 1 over cos squared theta minus sine theta over cos squared theta. I'll erase something here. This first term, if you recognize it, it is secant squared. It's the reciprocal or the flip of cosine squared is the reciprocal or the flip of secant squared. So that in this second term might not be quite as easy to recognize, but here we have a sine over cosine squared. So sine over cosine times cosine. This is tangent, so it's tangent over cosine, which is what we had here. We could have worked on this right side too, broken it apart, and gone the other way as well. I just did it this way. This time might be easier, might not be easier. Hope that helped. If it did, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.